What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, that Pens fan 412, and I am back at you with another Penguins defeat. A point's a point, right? I mean, losing in overtime, I've said it before, I'll say it again in the future. A point is a point. If you can drive it to overtime and get a point and you still somehow lose, it's all right. It doesn't matter the steps it took to get there. It doesn't matter how poorly you looked or how poorly they looked or what have you. A point is a point, is what I would say if I didn't point out several different problems that I see reoccurring in this game. A second of a back-to-back in Montreal against the Canadiens. The Penguins, quite literally, stepping up against the block. And this is how it went, essentially. All right, so Tristan Jarry starting the game, which now takes my idea from the last video where I said maybe Casey DeSmith is the main starter. And then it makes me think, who's the starter then? Because why would you play DeSmith? It's Toronto, Montreal back-to-back. I guess it's just a difficult call. I mean, they made the right call 2 nights ago. But did they make the right call tonight? I don't know. But going into the first period, about a minute and a half, a little over a minute and a half in, Josh Anderson, that guy. Former Columbus Blue Jacket, Josh Anderson. That's what I remember him from. Just kind of like circles around in our defensive zone, just full on puck hog. It's immaculate. And he gets it onto forehand, a little far away out there in the center of the defensive zone, and he makes everybody regret it. Now, this is the first part of a thread of things I noticed about Tristan Jarry. Is that mine? Mostly being that Tristan Jarry is all over the place. It literally looks like he is all over the place. The entire, like every goal that they score, it looks like he's just spazzing out. Like watching DeSmith in net 2 nights prior. Cool, calm, collected, very precise with his saves. And then you get Jarry, who's just all over the place, just jumping around. And I mean, it works to some degree, but at the same time, I feel like it led to a lot of problems in this game. But we'll get into the rest of why I think that. But yeah, Josh Anderson puts it back in the net. 1-0 Montreal. And that's essentially the first period. I mean, there's some back and forth going on, but Jarry seemed to be able to stop any opportunities they gave. I think it was Allen in net for Montreal. So Allen, once again, it's these guys that just, I don't know if they hold grudges against Pittsburgh or they just play really good against us. And Allen's one of those guys, Carey Price couldn't have done any better. I'm kidding. I am kidding. Please don't destroy me for that. But the second period rolls on, and just about the same amount of time as the first period, about a minute and a half, a little bit over that. Jeff Petrie on the power play. We started the second period with a power play because of Josh Anderson. Right. Thank you, Josh Anderson. Jeff Petrie just fires it on net. At first, it looked like it was deflected by one of our guys in front, but in reality, it was Jeff Petrie passing to Jack Evans, to score on themselves, right? Yeah, former teammates, former buddies, just playing a little, we got you, Alan, haha, we scored on you. No. the fans in Montreal were like, Jeff Petrie scored on us. It's kind of the vibe that I felt from that. 1-1 tie. Moving on a little bit, a few minutes later, Ricard Raquel, because of Pedersen just rifling it, letting it go from the point. And Raquel, who's deceivably a pretty big body dude, just standing in front of the net, and he just boop, little tip, goes right in. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a lead for the first time in the game, and then we roll into the crazy third period. The insane third period, the wild third period, where all hell seemed to just break loose on both sides. And Cole Caulfield started it off, literally like 50 seconds in. Something about getting scored on or scoring on somebody in the first 2 minutes of the game. Montreal and Pittsburgh are just the kings of this, from what I can tell this season. I mean, I pay attention to other hockey teams, and Montreal happens to be one of them, and I always notice that this is something that they do. I just hate that they do it against my hockey team because, well, obviously. And Cole Caulfield rifling it all alone. So, like, a few things about this goal. All right, defensively, what was going on in every facet of our defense? What was going on? They're just lots of chasing, not a lot of. Kirby Dach gets just leveled behind the net. This man gets back up, goes in front of the net. Pedersen, who is trying, admittedly, to move this big dude out of the way, gets leveled. And in the process of all of that, Dach kind of butt nudges Jarry a little bit. So Sullivan, being the ever so graceful watcher of these things, notices, there's a little nudge there. And he's not one to call a coach's challenge if he doesn't think he's going to win. So he calls it because it did admittedly look a little bit like goalie interference. But in reality, it was goalie interference because Pedersen pushed him. That's what it seemed like. Anyway, the goal does not get called back, and we end up not only losing a timeout, but also taking a penalty for delay of game, because that's a thing when you call a coach challenge and you fail. But it's okay because we killed that penalty, and it was wonderful, and I was really worried. But then I realized we're getting a little bit better defensively. Our penalty kill's getting a little sizably better. So anyway, it's 2-2 after that Cole Caulfield goal. And Evgeny Malkin, the man himself. You got Zucker out there. You got Petrie stepping up a little bit on the play there. And Malkin just in the front of the net there. He's just perfect place. Right time, right place. Everything you got to do. Gino, boom, back of the net with the backhand. Pulling out the Sidney Crosby real quick. 3-2 Pittsburgh at the 3-minute 19-second mark of the period. This is going to be a long one. A minute later, Nick Suzuki, which to me more or less was the play of the game in my opinion. Even though I'm a Pens fan, I got to admit, standing in front of the net, nobody's paying attention to you. This guy has the patience to turn and spin and just get in the right position, and then he passes it. He doesn't even go for the goal initially. He passes it, but then his partner gets it back to him, or it bounces off of somebody. It's really weird. He ends up getting it back at the perfect spot, puts it in the back of the net behind Jarry. Now this is the part where I say Jarry being crazy in net is what probably made this happen a lot more, because Jarry's still kind of all over the place, it seems. He's like this fringe, skate park goalie. He's just jumping from one side to the other, trying to stop stuff, and it works to some degree, and then, things like this happen where Nick Suzuki kind of just makes you pay for it. And it's tied again, 3-3. Penguins, their second lead of the game, taken away. Only a little bit after they gained it. But then, 10 minutes later, Brock McGinn going in on a 2-on-1. You got Dumo in the back, passing it to Carter. Carter, being the ever so graceful man that he is, gets it to McGinn. McGinn does not cease to amaze. He just puts it in the back of the net. Kind of looked like the goal from the previous game in Toronto, where it was the game-winning goal. McGinn, I'm starting to think, man, is he the game-winning goal guy? You know what I mean? And the moment that I probably started thinking that is the moment that that entire idea just got snuffed out by the hockey gods, and they said, no, he's not. Because not only... So they have their third lead of the game, 4-3 Pittsburgh. 40 seconds later, on the power play, we gave them another power play. That's not even the beginning of the problem. Sean Monahan came over from Calgary. Just with a beautiful wrister from Jonathan Drouin. Passes to Monahan. Monahan puts it in the back of the net, and it's 4-4. Luckily, that was the end of the goaling and the goaling. Yeah. The goal scoring in the third period, thankfully, or maybe it could have been a lot higher. The goalies were playing for it being 4-4. The goalies were playing pretty good on both sides and had a lot of spectacular saves for the most part. But Jari kind of just looked like he was all over the place. I don't know what that is, but it's just it needs to stop eventually. We go into overtime. Minute and 3 seconds in, it's a 2-on-1, and Mike Hoffman does not miss on 2-on-1 opportunities. Bing, bang, boom. Everybody's seen it in an EA video game for hockey. It's the good old cross-crease pass that always goes in the back of the net, and in real life, it followed that suit and went in the back of the net. The Montreal Canadiens take the 2 points in overtime against Pittsburgh at home on the second half of a back-to-back that Pittsburgh had against Toronto and Montreal. Your 3 stars of the game are, admittedly, Nick Suzuki, which I think is well-deserved, in my opinion, at the very least. He's that goal was very good. I'll give him that. I hate it that it was against us, but it was very good. Jason Zucker was the second star, and Mike Hoffman the third star for being the hero for the Montreal Canadiens. Pittsburgh's winning streak is cut to 2 games, and they take another loss. Luckily, in overtime. A point is a point in a game where they were getting outshot by double, and admittedly, again, as I look here, 20 to 15 hits, but we've become a low-key hitting team. I'll take it. Jari looked all over the place. The defense looked a little bit sloppy, but it's a back-to-back, so they were probably already admittedly tired, especially a Canadian back-to-back, which is already kind of a lot to begin with. But yes, your Pittsburgh Penguins fall 4-5, 5-4. To the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal in overtime. They get a point. They looked all right. Offensively, they looked good. Defensively, they were there's some needs improvement that needs to go in there. It's like a grade school report card. Needs improvement. And Jari needs to chill out a little bit. He seems just like this sporadic energy thing is not going to be beneficial. It doesn't seem like it. It works. When it doesn't, it looks horrible. What are you going to say? You know what I mean? What do you want me to say about that? Right? But hey, that's it. It's been That Pens Fan 412 with another review of a Penguins game. Montreal Penguins loss, OT, 1 point. A point is a point. Remember that. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like. If you dislike the video, make sure to dislike. I love honesty, so please be honest. Any comments, questions, concerns, anything you got, drop it down in the comments section below. Let me know how you think I'm doing with these videos. Let me know how you like the new audio setup with my headphones here. To me, it sounds a lot clearer. My voice sounds majestically clear now. But let me know what you think. Trying to make it's the subtle changes I'm trying to make. I don't have a lot to work with, but I'm trying to do what I can with it, what I have. And I thank you again all for watching. Well, in the future. Away.